Good morning, everyone. It's Nana Hannah. It's been maybe 2 months since I made a video, and now we're at the end of December. Cold weather is setting in, and it's those kind of nights where we really want some warm soup to eat. So I thought maybe I would make let me find my recipe and I'll tell you what it is. I thought I would make some Italian wedding soup. Now, if you go on Google, you will find many recipes on how people make their Italian wedding soup. Well, the soup that I'm making is tiny, maybe 1-inch meatballs. Takes a lot of time to roll those meatballs. So they have some parsley, a little bit of onion in them. They have Parmesan cheese, maybe a little bit of breadcrumbs, a couple eggs, depending on how many you want to make. When I bake, no matter what I make, I always bake in excess. I double the recipe half the time. This recipe calls for 8 ounces of beef, and then 8 ounces of pork. You mix it together, make your meatballs. So I use a pound of each, and then I have a whole bunch of meatballs when I'm done. Right now the meatballs are cooking in my oven. So that part of it takes the most time, because you have to get those meatballs little, they're like 1 inch big, 1 inch round. So you just roll them and put the TV on, something we're watching, one of the soap operas or something, and take care of that. Once that's done and they're cooked, we'll set them aside. Some people will start to boil their chicken broth, which is what I use. I use 3 containers of chicken broth. Now I can decide further as I progress in my making of the soup if I want to put more in or not. It all depends. I'm also putting in about 1 package of shredded spinach, which I've just chopped up a little bit to make it a little bit rough, and that'll also go in the soup. So my soup is getting warmed up now. I usually use something like baby spinach, and actually when you make this is what I usually use. You're supposed to use, or should use, an escarole, which is Italian. Oh my gosh, it tastes so delicious. But here in West Virginia, they don't know what that is, and we can't find it anyplace. I only found it one time at one of the stores, and that was it. I guess I could order it, but this'll do. So my meat, let's see what my meatballs look like. They're in the oven now. Let me just show you. Now, don't panic when you see the size of them, because I made a bunch. I made a whole lot of meatballs. So let's see what they look like. And they're so cute. They're all so cute. You see them all? Of course, I'm not going to use them all in my soup, but I will turn the oven off now and start to do the next phase of this. So the next part of it is you take your meatballs that you've prepared and your spinach, or whichever other kind of greens, endive that you like to use, and you place it in the soup. Okay, so let me just I'm moving things around here so I can put my meatballs on another hot plate. I take them out of the oven now. And I don't know, maybe, depends on how many I want to put on. The thing that's nice about this is you can take these meatballs and you can stick them in the freezer and then use them for another time. So they're little tiny ones. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is move my camera over on this side and show you from this angle how I will do this. Okay, so here is my pot of soup. And I'm going to take my meatballs, and they're pretty well done. I just put them on I cooked them on 325 degrees, and they're little, and you can see the parsley in them, and they really look yummy. And they're probably partially cooked, I would think now. Let me just break one open and see what it looks like. Actually, they're all cooked. Look at the inside of that one. So you know that those meatballs are ready. So I'm just going to take a bunch and just put them in the soup. Turn my soup back on a little bit so it starts to get hot again. Since all of the seasoning is in the meatballs and of course in the greens that you're using, you want to just put all this together. Place them in the soup like this. And I'll take half of this. And I don't even count how many I made. I don't know. But I'm putting them all in. That's good. Now, along with that, I'm going to add my spinach. And we want the two things to kind of marry in this soup until they all get together and form a wonderful, wonderful meal. Stir that around a little bit, and we'll let it cook some. You can always add your salt and pepper, how much you want. It all depends again how much how many seasonings you want to put in this. So this is where I'm at right now. So I'm going to let that stir, let that cook up a little bit, and then we'll go to our next step and see what we'll do next. Now, some people will go ahead and make pasta, like the little mini tiny pastas, and put them in the soup. You've probably had that before. Some people don't put pasta in it. Some other people will take a recipe like the one that I have here, and they will add some, they'll take a couple eggs and some Parmesan cheese and mix the two together. And then when the soup is real hot, they will drop that mixture slowly into the soup and make it kind of like an egg drop soup almost. So it all depends on what you're used to and what you would like to try. So I'm just going to put you on hold right now, and I'll be back. Okay, now I've boiled my soup somewhat. You can see it, little bubbles. I'm going to make it a little bit higher. And I took 3 eggs and 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And I'm mixing it all together. And what I'm going to do is drop it oh so gently into this soup as I stir it gently around. And it'll form little, hopefully, little stripes of egg and cheese in there, along with the meatballs and the spinach. Like I said, I made this recipe a little bit longer. It's got more ingredients in it. It says to put some salt and pepper. I'm not going to put salt, but I am going to throw some pepper in here, like this, and maybe just mix this a little bit. And then later on I can give it more flavor, more of a seasoning if I need it. Okay, so let me go a little bit higher so you can see it bubbling. Okay, all right, we're going to try this. I've never done it like this before. So like I said, some people don't even do this. The reason why I would be suggesting to try this is because my husband is gluten-free, and there's just something about the pasta that just doesn't taste real good in something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and try to drop a little bit of this in, and as I drop it in, I'm going to mix it around a little bit and see what happens. Now you can see how it's kind of separating. See that? That looks really good. And to me, that would even be better than if I were to put gluten-free pasta in here, because you're also getting the egg and the cheese, and it's all being mixed around. Now when you think you have enough, you may not have to use all this. But I did put about 3 of the boxes of low sodium chicken broth in here. Okay, now that's like 2/3 of what I made. And you just mix it around like this together. Let's see what it says. Stir the soup. Stir. It's like my mom used to saying to my grandkids, to my children when they were little, and they were her grandkids. She would say, stir it, oh what fun. Soon our hodgepodge will be done, and we'll taste it, everyone. So stir it, quickly stir it. Okay. So that's what it looks like, folks. Now, like I said, if you would rather not put that in, you don't have to, but I kind of like that idea. So I'm going to put some in a bowl and see what it tastes like. Now, it hasn't been cooking that long. You want it to cook longer. If at some point you think that it needs more greens, more vegetables in there, you know, some people put all kinds of stuff in their soup. Can you see that? Doesn't that look good? Oh, I can't get used to this thing. Okay. Just one little meatball sitting there. One little meatball. Let me get me a spoon and taste it. Now, I would cook this probably for another maybe hour. Just so that it gets all the taste of the little meatball in here. I usually break my meatball in half. Take a little piece of my greens here with my meatball and my egg mixture with cheese. Let me see what it tastes like. I have to blow on it first. Make sure it's okay. That is so good. Really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead, put the rest of the egg and cheese in, because I'd like to have the rest of it in here. I think it would just makes it perfect. And again, I said this recipe that I picked up is from an Italian, Giada. You've probably seen her recipes. Giada de Laurentiis. And it shows her how she made her meatballs, and then how she, you know, goes ahead and puts the meatballs in your sauce or in your soup, and mixes it real good. Now, with what I've got, I did get an extra thing of spinach because it's a double batch. So probably it would be perfect if it didn't have as much chicken broth in there. But I'm going to add some more things to it, like the rest of the meatballs that I made. I mean, that's 600 meatballs. You got to put them in there, right? Yeah. So I'll put them all in, and I'll put a little bit more spinach and, you know, get my seasoning out. It's really very good, and such a perfect thing for a really cold night. So I hope you enjoyed what I made, and that's my soup for today. I'd like to get some other recipes that I've got in my cookbook and have them also for the winter months, because we're going to need some nice things to heat us up and make us feel warm and cozy. But thank you for watching today.